guaranteed cut. And Brianna Turner is someone who has started almost every game in her career till last year.
So in a kind of a surprising turn of events, the Indiana Fever have made yet another move this offseason, and they have signed Bree Turner to the roster.
Angel Reese went off. That's the headline after Chicago Sky rookie sensation saw the news. Brianna Turner, her teammate, ditching Chicago to join the Indiana Fever. And who is leading the Fever charge? None other than Caitlin Clark, WNBA rookie phenom. Reese's reaction wasn't just a shrug, it was a full-blown social media explosion. Loyalty expired like milk, she declared, side-eye game strong, and the WNBA world stopped. This wasn't just a free agency signing, it was a dramatic betrayal, a power play, and Angel Reese's very public, very savage reaction is what everyone is talking about. Buckle up, because Reese going nuts is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, someone who actually broke this story, she said Brianna Turner has signed with the Indiana Fever per the WNBA transition page. Some depth for the Fever front court. Brianna Turner signed a contract with the Fever. Somebody said, so does this mean it's not a training camp? Somebody said, yes, it's basics.
The moment the news broke about Brianna Turner signing with Indiana, all eyes snapped to Angel Reese. Would she address it? How would she address it? Reese didn't disappoint. Her loyalty expired like milk comment wasn't just shade, it was a declaration of war. Fans dissected every syllable, every facial expression in the video that followed. This wasn't some polite PR-approved statement. This was raw, unfiltered reaction. Reese felt it personally. Turner, a Chicago teammate, choosing Indiana, choosing to team up with Caitlin Clark. It felt like a direct challenge, and Reese's fiery response lit the WNBA fuse. The drama was instant, electric, and entirely centered around Reese's explosive reaction to this unexpected move.
It is funny that all these people who hated the Indiana Fever last year is finally coming around to sign with the team. Go figure. Now, I don't know the whole initial thing about this signing, maybe for depth, defensive purposes, but it is funny to see how what a year make when the Indiana Fever is one of the, not one, but is the top team in the WNBA.
But let's be clear, Brianna Turner wasn't just joining any team, she was joining Caitlin Clark's team. Indiana wasn't just making signings, they were building a fortress around their rookie superstar. Turner was the latest and arguably most shocking addition to a Fever roster that was suddenly overflowing with talent. Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, DeWanna Bonner, veterans flocking to Indiana, drawn by the Caitlin Clark effect. It was a rapid, aggressive, and frankly ruthless roster overhaul, and for Angel Reese, watching from Chicago, it had to feel like Indiana was not just building a team, but building a monster aimed directly at her and the sky.
Like, I wanted me to talk about this Bree Turner signing, but there's really nothing to talk about. So, Bree Turner did not look good on the Sky, specifically because we did not need bigs to come off the bench to play defense. We needed bigs to come off the bench and get a freaking bucket. And for me, like, the craziest thing, as I've said before in previous videos, like way back in season, Bree Turner didn't look that bad coming off the bench, right? The issue, again, is that she came off the bench and played defense. Girl, we need you to come off the bench and get a freaking bucket. And when she did get a bucket, she was efficient at it. She was the most efficient big that we had on the Sky, period. But she just wasn't going out there to look for her shot. She was going out there to be essentially like a passer or just play defense. Like it just really, again, like that's not what we needed specifically.
Back in Chicago, the silence was deafening. Sky fans were in disbelief. While Indiana was throwing a free agency party, Chicago looked like they were still figuring out the playlist. So what's our plan? Became the anxious question echoing online. The contrast was stark. Indiana, bold and brash, versus Chicago, seemingly stunned and stagnant. And in the middle of it all was Angel Reese, the player Chicago was counting on, forced to watch a teammate defect to the enemy, to Caitlin Clark's team no less. The pressure on Reese, already immense, just ratcheted up another notch. Her going nuts moment wasn't just about Turner, it was about the entire power shift happening right before her eyes.
So in what might be the biggest surprise in all of free agency, the Indiana Fever have just signed Brianna Turner. Yeah, I think that this is a shock. I don't hate this. I actually don't hate this for the Fever, like.
But here's the thing about Angel Reese. She doesn't back down. Instead of crumbling under the pressure, she doubled down on defiance. I love it here, she stated firmly, and we're going to be just fine. Underdog Reese is a dangerous beast, and this perceived disrespect, this Indiana power grab, this teammate jumping ship to Caitlin Clark might be the very thing that unlocks a new level of intensity in her game. Will Reese channel this going nuts energy into on-court dominance? Will she make the league regret underestimating Chicago? The answer, it seems, will depend on how Reese transforms her fiery reaction into on-court action.
The Fever did not come to play. They are on a mission to win now, like 2025 championship season incoming. They were so quiet during free agency. And in the past 24 hours, boom, boom, boom. Re-signed Kelsey Mitchell to a max deal. Picked up Natasha Howard, bringing her back to the Indiana Fever, where she was originally drafted. And then they just announced a three-way trade, sending Alyssa Smith to Dallas and Sophie Cunningham coming to the Fever. This team in 24 hours just got exponentially better.
The shockwaves from Turner's signing and Reese's reaction rippled across the WNBA. Asia Wilson and the Aces, feeling the shift in power, had to be reevaluating everything. New York, with their own super team aspirations, suddenly had a serious rival to contend with. And at the center of it all, Caitlin Clark in Indiana, pulling players like magnets, and Angel Reese in Chicago, reacting with a fire that could ignite a league-wide rivalry. This wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about narratives, personalities, and the brewing clash between two of the WNBA's biggest rising stars, Clark and Reese, now even more intensely linked by Turner's dramatic move.
What Steph White is doing and what the Fever organization is doing is nothing less than phenomenal, in my opinion. They are taking this young, talented core that they have, you know, with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, and they're adding veteran players that Stephanie White has already worked with. Let's talk about that too, and has chemistry with, and knows the work ethic of. And they are building this super team, make no mistake about it, that is going to give you
And let's not forget the irony bomb dropped by Cheryl Swoops. Nobody wants to play for Indiana, she'd said. Cue the montage of WNBA stars signing Fever contracts. Cheryl, that take aged badly. Indiana, Caitlin Clark's Indiana is now the place to be. And Angel Reese's going nuts reaction is, in a way, a testament to that shift. It highlights just how much things have changed, how quickly Indiana has risen, and how personally players like Reese are taking this dramatic power shift in the league.
That's kind of what everybody talked about when we were in the playoffs last year of, you know, we really didn't have much experience at all playing in playoff games. I don't know what the exact number was, but we really lacked in that area. So just adding pieces of, you know, players that have been in this league, they know what it takes to win, they know what it takes to get to the finals, they know what it takes to win championships, I think is exactly what we needed in our locker room. So it's just exciting, but also like they're not only really good basketball players, they're really great leaders and really great people. And I know the front office obviously really prioritized that and looking for the pieces that we wanted to add. So really thankful for that as well.
Indiana Fever, fueled by Caitlin Clark and now stacked with veterans like Turner, Howard, and Cunningham, aren't just building a team, they're building a statement. They're saying they're here to win now. And Angel Reese's explosive reaction, her going nuts moment, perfectly encapsulates the league-wide shock and the dawning realization. The Indiana Fever, led by Caitlin Clark, are not just contenders, they are a force to be reckoned with, and the WNBA and Angel Reese will never be the same. So what do you think? Is Angel Reese overreacting, or is this the start of an epic WNBA rivalry? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and if you want to stay locked in on all the WNBA drama, hit that like button and subscribe for more. The season is about to be fire.